And I forgot to put myself in the picture this time. I was so late. Sorry. Apologies for being late, guys, but thank you very, very much for tuning in. For those watching live, kudos and thank you very much. This is Pepper's Echo. My name's Andre, and welcome to the live echo. Yeah, you are watching the live echo. And I looked at all the news and views and things and everything, and I thought, wow, this week I don't feel like talking news a bit anymore. I enjoyed last week quite a lot when we were talking about count your blessings, and I actually have a lot to talk about, and then I actually wanted to. And if you actually take a look on my site, there's one or two points that I talk about where I have called it Pep Talk, and I thought to myself, well, why have Pep Talk and Pepper's Echo when Pepper's Echo is going to be the talk show anyway? So it is to be able to talk about anything and everything that you want to, but I would first of all ask you to please like and subscribe, because it's the only way that I get my streams out there, and it is the only way that I can get more people to watch and a little bit of interactivity and things that we're chatting about. So once again, I'm not talking about the news today. I can actually tell you what's happening, but my focus today is not on the news. But if there is anything that you would like me to look at, that you would like me to talk about, that you would like to bring on, to have brought onto the show, please let me know. And even more importantly, if you would like to come on the show, please drop me a mail at peppersecho@gmail.com. PEPRSECHO, no double P, no E. It is like that. I forgot the original one, so I do apologize. But PEPRSECHO. If you have anything, doesn't have to be political, doesn't have to be motivational. It can be something of interest, doesn't have to be South African. It can be Cambodian as far as I'm concerned as well. It can be United States. It can be Kingdom. It can be Swaziland. It doesn't matter where it comes from, what you do. If it's a hobby, maybe it's an interest, maybe it's something that you just like us to talk about. Maybe you don't want to come to the show at all. That is not a problem. We'll just talk about it. If you'd like to come on the show, I would love to chat with you on the show. It would really be a wonderful opportunity to meet new people. And I'm not really needing to have celebs or anything or anybody important. I'd like to chat with the man in the street. The ordinary man in the street is who I would like to speak to, because that's what Pepper's Echo is all about, is the ordinary man in the street from the outside looking in. Questions, answers on whatever. But anyway, yes, so don't forget to like and subscribe. You're watching the live echo as such. So yeah, I can go on to news a little bit. Not that I'm wanting to do news this week. I'm wanting to actually approach the subject of happiness. And the reason is it happens to me. And so if it happens to me, I'm sure there's more than one or two people that it happens to out there. Especially guys, and of course, guys, we are not allowed to be emotional beings. We have to be. That's what I was trying to do. We are not allowed to be emotional beings. We have to be these strong creatures. So you can't have emotions or feelings or anything like that. Otherwise, you've lost it. The ticker's off, etc., etc. And so. And happiness, to me, is an emotion. It's just something that's there. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. A feeling. It's an emotion. It's more than just a feeling. It sort of like runs through your veins, as do any emotions, etc., etc. Run through your veins. Emotions that I see when I look at the news. If we're going to look at the news quickly before we go into happiness, which doesn't make me very happy. Whammo. Let's bring it in there, Sam. Matthews pours out cries foul about a law firm and an office of state attorney. The political accused state officials and ENS Africa of abusing office to tip scales in ongoing business legal proceedings. Pedestrian injured in crash that killed Joburg. Mayor dies, bodyguards recovering in hospital. Bok coach Ninaba worries about massive All Blacks challenge. I would be worried too. I didn't see the match, but apparently it was pretty good. Dickerson children were strangled with cable ties. That is absolutely a ghastly, ghastly disaster. I mean, three beautiful little girls. How do you know if a mother is a great danger of her children? 8 signs, Ebola virus, blah, 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 blah. We've got a lot of news on there. Let's take a look. Cambodia. Cambodia has gone up a little bit in their active cases. We are finding a lot of, how should I say, viruses. The COVID virus has the Delta version coming up a little bit again. And yeah, that doesn't make me very happy. She's trying to work my mic. Sorry. But yeah, Cambodia active cases continue to grow. Quarantine rules easing across the board. They may have vaccinated tourists back and encourage Cambodians to travel. I know what they are looking at is possibly saying, well, if you are vaccinated, then you can come and quarantine for 1 week in an area. So if you come to, like, for instance, the city of Siem Reap, you can quarantine for a week in Siem Reap. You're not allowed to leave the area of Siem Reap, but you would be able to go to take a look at Angkor Wat and the temples, etc., etc., as long as you remained in the area. And then after 7 days, you can go throughout the country. So it's basically trying to maintain it within the area. Chinese woman kills man in road accident. Yeah. 7 COVID-19 deaths in Bantia Menki, warnings of flooding. Yeah, there's been quite a bit of rain here compared to what we usually have, but apparently this is the normal rain. 17 COVID-19 positive woman gives birth in Siem Reap. 7 COVID-19 positive women give birth in Siem Reap. Cambodia has vaccinated 73.9% of its 16 million population. Well done. Cambodia vaccinates more than 276 children between the ages of 6 to 12. I've got to bring up that picture because those pictures of those little children always, oh man, they just don't look, they look terribly fearful going through it. I still have my reservations about children that young. Going in this week, we had schools open their the schools that complied were allowed to open their high schools. I know our high school students were allowed to come back. However, in what do they call blended? But yeah, there's a whole lot of positive. I'm not going to be doing the news today, so let me chat with you a little bit. Yeah, we're going to have a little cheers. For the nerves. Right. So yes, we were allowed to bring back the high school children, but also not all in one shot. You were only allowed to bring half the class and half the class due to COVID social distancing. So half the class stays at home and watches the class online and interacts that way, and the other half can be in school. And then next week it switches around again, and you have half the class in the other half of the class in school and the other half online again. So that's how it is to work. This week, however, very few students did come to school. I think especially with the Delta still sticking its ugly head out there, it is a little bit concerning for parents. So we had very few students at school, also only starting on a Wednesday. I do believe that it was a pretty in midweek. A lot of parents said, let's just run through the rest of this week and we'll start on Monday. Currently, primary school children are not at school at the moment either at all. Teachers are still at home teaching online from home. The school is having to go through a major amount of changes and work. It's pretty expensive actually to get into complying and to be able to maintain your teachers to teach. So hats off to the schools that are actually getting this done. I know our school is doing it, so well done to them. And it's quite a lot of pressure because you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. On the one hand, you've got a lot of people whinging, why is the school putting all that money on there? They should be and you know what, but on the other hand, you're actually receiving your salary twice a month quite happily, and you're not complaining about that. So shut up and be thankful we're actually complying. We're working with one of the most how should I say sought after schools that there are in Cambodia. Apart from that, yeah, vax, and I know there's a huge outrage all over the place, especially in South Africa, about vaccine passports coming to play. And as I said last week, I'm, you know what, vax, don't vax, I don't care, but don't expect people to comply with you. You know what, I don't want to vax, but everybody else needs to bend to what your right now needs to be broken to suffice my right. No, I don't believe in that. You know what, I won't put anything strange into my body statement, but as soon as I am dying and in hospital and I'm suffering from COVID and I'm probably going to die, I don't care what you put into my body. You know what, I have not seen one COVID sufferer in ICU going, you will not inject that into me to keep me alive. Just a question. So you won't take anything until you are dying, which is what the vaccine prevents. A vaccine does not prevent you getting COVID. It does not prevent you passing on COVID, but it does prevent you to the highest percentage of actually dying from COVID or ending up in hospital from COVID. But you would choose not to vaccinate and then end up getting COVID, ending up in a hospital ICU, and then they can put anything into you to keep you alive. But you won't do it to prevent that. And this is the problem. We talking about passports and that. Yes, it's not on. I don't think it's a bad idea to, you don't have to have a passport. You should just have a vaccine card like we have here in Cambodia. We have a vaccine card. And I go to a place called Naga World. It's a huge casino hotel, but downstairs from it, they have duty-free shops and that. And I find my Camel cigarettes there. Woohoo, kudos to call out to Camel. There we go, free advertising. But anyway, that's the only place I do find them is in the duty-free store there. But because it is a casino and restaurants and hotel and everything, very, very smart, they are excessively tight on security, especially when it comes to COVID and things like that, because they have had to, I think, had a 2-week close down, and I think that hit them really, really hard. What happened today? Well, I went there on yesterday, which is Saturday, and they wouldn't let me in because I didn't have my vaccination card with me. Today, I got my vaccination card and went there. What we had to do, and it was myself, my wife, and 2 friends, and what we had to do is we had to have our vaccination cards with us to show that we've had both our vaccinations, our passports with us to show that those vaccination cards belong to us. And then from there, we did all the sanitizations, temperature checks, masks, and everything. But then you go through to another area. When you walk in there, there's people in like hazmat suits and that, and they actually do a COVID test on you while you're entering Naga World. They do a COVID test on you there. Then you go into like a hallway where there are chairs, socially distanced. You sit on the chair there and you wait. They give you like a number, and 10-15 minutes, your number's called. You go to the table where your number's called with your vaccination card, with your passport again, and they will take a look and they write down your passport number and everything onto like a little gold colored card, and that is issued to you. And that means that you can now enter Naga World for 7 days with your vaccination card and this gold card without being tested. After 7 days, you enter again, you will be tested. Those quick tests again before going in. It was actually pretty amazing. I was pretty grateful for it because I felt much safer going into a place where there are people that I know has been taken care of. But enough of that. You know me and Vax. So what I wanted to take a look at as well, today's chat is afraid to be happy. Afraid to be happy. And as I said, it is something that I'm not immune to. It is something that happens to me, and good things have happened. This week I've had a really, really, really hard week, and it has been testing, if I can say the least, very testing. And but good things are coming out of it all of the time. You know what? The more I'm trying, the harder it is. And you know what? Forgive me if I'm going to be a little bit religious at times with you in a Christian point of view. You can apply it to any form of religion that you believe in or philosophy of life that you believe in. I am not going to shove my religion down your throat at the moment, but I am going to maybe give you a few points where it has created anxiety in me, and it might be the same for you as well. But I don't know how many times we feel this way. Little Charlie Brown, and I think it's Lucy there. How can you be afraid to be happy? And the answer is so freaking true. Because whenever you get too happy, something bad always happens. How many of us look at life in that way? How many of us are afraid to be happy because something bad might happen? How many of us are afraid to show an emotion of happiness? Who are afraid to actually live the moment? Who are afraid to have it tickle our funny bone? How many of us don't want to be happy? How many of us, when we see good things coming, go, "Oh, I wonder what's going to go wrong"? Yeah, yeah. You're looking at him. You're looking at him. When things are good, I am waiting for the bad. It's not right. You should be able to enjoy happiness. You should be able to share it. The same with sadness, guys. I mean, sadness, we also sometimes feel we've got to reel it into ourselves, but at least we don't sit there going, "I'm afraid to be sad because I just might get happy." You know, that's not a problem. Sadness is almost an is what we accept. I want to go through a few things that I've bless me and excuse me. I want to go through a few things that I've looked at on the internet. This is not going to be a long stream, but happy is allowed. We tend to sabotage ourselves. It's like when you put the air conditioner on in a room and you put it on auto, it will start cooling the room. But the minute the room starts getting a little cool, boom, it switches off so the room can get warmer again. And it's the same thing that we tend to have. Many people tend to have. And if you don't, kudos to you. I take my hat off to you. Really, really great that you don't, because that's I think you should be able to strive for. I have a few things that I work with myself, but I am so afraid, and people are so afraid that joy will bring sorrow, that flowers will have thorns, and they do not want to fully. We don't want to fully enjoy this happiness, this goodness. You know, I've enjoyed going on my ride to work every morning, and I listen to my little daily piece, my earphones. And when I'm finished with my daily piece, as I said last week, you know what? I count my blessings, I say my prayers, and I pray for people, and things are working, and I pray for myself, and ask for things, and I look, and I focus on what is good, and it's really it's working. You know what? That's why we said, my wife and I, we are so blessed. But can you be happy about it, or are we looking, going, when is this going to break? You're looking at having we're fortunate enough to have a career set off for me at school as well. I'm have the opportunity to take a career path. My wife is happy. We're getting full salaries, even in a very, very difficult time for our school. I must say our school has pulled through head and shoulders above. Every day has been able to be managed. You've come home to a warm house. Your little pups are so happy to see you. Your wife's happy to see you. You're getting things done. Things are happening. People are respecting you. People are appreciating you. You're respecting people and you're appreciating them. And we even got to go and take a look at what they call a villa. And it's not a villa like a Mexican villa with a pool and like an outback. What a little villa here is like a townhouse in South Africa, but you get to like cluster home. At the bottom is like a lounge dining area and a kitchen, a little bit of a small yard in the front, and then upstairs there's 3 bedrooms, a main bathroom, and then an ensuite bathroom as well. Very, very nice, beautiful. We've been able to go and take a look at that to be able to say, let's settle down. We've been able to get hold of our broker in South Africa and say, we don't have anything to our name. Yeah, please set up. We want to get something put behind into our bank account or into investment for when we get older, and I know we're old already, so we don't have that much time left, but at least we're not going to be begging off the street. We'll maybe have to live on the street, but we'll buy some food, or I don't know what we're going to do. But yeah, you don't want to look and say, geez, that's good, I'll be able to survive. It's like, whoa, just don't get too happy about that. But all of this, look how well things are going. This is happening, that's happening, that's happening. And then I'm sitting and I'm going, well, you know what? This isn't quite right. I think I'm going to come short over here. This isn't quite right. I'm going to have a bit of a problem over there, and that is going to happen. And what if this happens, and that's happened? And how long is this going to hold out before absolute crisis hits the fan? How long is it going to be? When you share your happiness with someone, and instead of someone actually enjoying it with you, going, oh, yeah, but remember, you got to be careful. Remember not to be too happy about something. Those are the few things, I mean, that I want to that I want to talk about. What is this? Where does this come from? I mean, there's different things that I want to talk about as well, but I'll talk about other shows. I mean, being a Christian, is it something to be happy about, or is it something that flogs you? Hold that in your brain and drop a couple of mails as well if you want to. So just before I carry on, I nearly forgot. Don't forget to give me a mail. Anything you want to say, question, query, whatever, drop it at Peppersecho, Peprssecho, no E, no double P, at gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. So yes, keep that one in your mind. But today I'm looking at the fact that things are going so well, I'm afraid to utter them loudly. Have you ever heard the word, you're going to jinx it? You'll jinx it? Really, really concerning. Don't jinx it. Yeah, it's going so well. Now, am I being arrogant? Oh, I need to be humble. So let me rather be unhappy about this. I had a time at work where I used to walk around expecting the worst. I think people sometimes feel that they're in control, but let's take a look at what it says. And I looked on the internet a little bit. I'll pop the source down there. Kerophobia or Kerophobia, I'm not too sure how to pronounce that word, is being too happy a thing. Is being too happy a thing? What is Kerophobia? Kerophobia is a phobia. Now, I don't think I've got the phobia. I don't think although it does, happiness makes me anxious. Why? Let's take a look. See, Kerophobia is where a person has an irrational aversion to being happy. You shouldn't. I mean, why can't have you seen these happy-go-lucky people? Life just happens for them. Aren't you worried about what's going to go wrong? But anyway, the term comes from the Greek word chero, which means to rejoice. When a person experiences kerophobia, they are often afraid to participate in activities that many would characterize as fun or being happy. You're afraid to be happy. Kerophobia. And I don't think you need to have a excessive state of this phobia to feel that way. I think everyday people have an anxiety with things going so fast and so wrong so quickly, and so many disasters and so much mishaps, and the mainstream media feeds on disappointment, unhappiness, and disaster, and everything that goes on wrong. You go into conversations with people don't say, Have you heard about that great thing that happened the other day? And did you hear about this good thing that happened to so and so? And a wonderful thing happened the other day. And don't you think it's nice that this and this happened, or so and so did this, or this happened to so and so? No. You get into conversations and it's like, oh, it's terrible. This COVID's killing us. Oh, did you see so and so? He's got divorced. And guess what? So and so, oh, a car hit them the other day, and you know what? I think they're not going to make their payments. And you know what? So and so's got fired. And oh, you know what? This place is just doing this to me, and that is going wrong. Oh, you know, we are so used to negativity being thrived upon that suddenly, when we do find the option to be joyful or happy, we are afraid and anxious. And I do suffer from a good amount of anxiety. I have no qualms about it. People who are perfectionists, and I've often sometimes been told, you're a perfectionist. Now, I'm not a perfectionist in that something's got to hang straight. And this is, I would absolutely shoot a ball if I had to do that in my place, because nothing is perfect yet. It's like a mini dump ground. But the thing is, when I talk perfectionist, I can't start something if I can't see the end. If I can't see that it's going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, all the way to Z, how am I going to get it there? I don't want to start it. So I refuse to start it, which then leads to procrastination, something we will talk about some other time. But this is also a form of jeopardizing your happiness. If it's not perfect, I can't be happy about it. If all the blocks aren't there, I'm not going to celebrate this one good thing, because there's too many wrong, or there's too much that can go wrong. So I'm just going to you know what? You won a lottery. You know, you got a new house. You got a promotion. You got a car. You know, just let's not get too happy, because A, something might go wrong. B, I might be seen as arrogant. C, shame. What about the other people who aren't as fortunate as what I am? So someone who has Kerophobia isn't necessarily a sad person. So yeah, I don't think I'm a sad person. I think I'm a pretty happy person, but inside is one that avoids activities that could lead to happiness or joy. Examples of symptoms associated with Kerophobia could include, so let's take a look at the before. Before I go into those, something that I often do is always putting myself down, putting myself second. I won't like, wow, yeah, I got that right. That's fantastic. It's like, well, I wasn't too bad. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are far better than me, or you know what, somebody else worked fast, or you know what, it really wasn't me. It's everybody else. I'm afraid to give myself a pat on the back to enjoy that happiness, because somebody is going to call me out and saying arrogance, or they're going to break me down, or I'm going to slip and fall, or someone's going to say something, or people will be nasty to you, or people who won't like the fact that, you know what, you can turn around and say, geez, I was great. And it was saying, yeah, wow, you know, and I'm not saying be arrogant, but here's a couple of examples. Symptoms: experiencing anxiety at the thought of going to a joyful or social gathering, like a party, a concert, or other similar events. We're going to go out. Man, that just hits anxiety bones. Why? Because this could go wrong. What if I don't enjoy it? Say now we end up with people who we have to talk to. Just now people think we're being arrogant. Now people think we've got too much money and we don't know what to do with it. You know, you can absolutely take a really great moment and crash it. And you don't need to be. I know somewhere along the line it says extrovert is often afraid of being happy. But let me tell you something. You can be pretty much a social person. You don't have to be an extrovert, but you can be a pretty social person and still fear happiness. Rejecting opportunities, symptoms that could lead to positive life changes due to fear that something bad will follow. Rejecting a promotion because you don't think you could do the job, although most people believe in you. Not going to do something, not fixing things around the house because you believe that you are just so untechnical that you can't fix it. Not doing repairs. People are constantly telling you can't do this, move aside. Don't do this, move aside. I won't cook. Simple time. When I pick up food and utensils, people keep on moving in, going, let me show you. And I don't want to. It's not a fun. The joy of cooking just does not live in me. It's an anxious thing for me to do. And you should be, that's a happy, how many people happily cook away? Refusal to participate in activities that most will call fun. There we go back to the cooking thing. Most will call fun. Most will say call getting together a fun. Let's go to a get together where we meet and greet people. Oh geez, that's like putting me through a house of horrors. I got to talk to people, and I'm a talkative person. I really am. Cheers. I'm an exceptionally talkative person. So, but I do not like being out of my comfort zone in a strange place. Some of the key thoughts a person who experiences Kerophobia may express. Being happy will mean something bad will happen to me. How many people think of that? Something's going to go wrong. If I reach this height, I have to fall. If I can't go any higher, if I suddenly reach happiness, I have to fall to get to happiness again. It's like we often say when we finish holidays, we say, you know what, all good times need to end so that we can make space for more good times. So you have to end a holiday to go back to work so that you can have another holiday again. And we tend to see happiness like that. If I am so happy, there is nowhere else to go but down. I've reached the top of the hill, so I don't want to reach that top of the hill. Happiness makes you a bad or worse person. Sometimes, yeah, people are nasty to you, so it's going to make me bad. If I'm just this happy person, I'm probably this arrogant crutch stepping on top of everybody like cockroaches. You know what? Am I narcissist if I'm happy? People do think that. You know what? If I'm happy, does that mean that you know what? I'm going to make others feel bad? So I don't want to share it with them. Share your happiness. So important as well. Showing that you're happy is bad for you or for your friends and family. You know what? A lot of people resent me for being happy, so I'm not going to show them I'm happy. I don't want to be happy just in case somebody's not having a good day. So I should not be happy then. Or something is going to go wrong. So let me not reach that hill. People will think badly of me. They'll think me a narcissist. They'll think me arrogant. They'll think me pompous. They'll think me snotty. Trying to be happy is a waste of time and effort. So you know what? It's like we've been fighting this endless war to be happy. I just can't seem to be happy because, you know what? I tripped over this morning and I had to take a COVID test when I went to Naga World, and I couldn't get my glasses done there. And you know what? The house has got to get internet, and I'm giving you true facts here. The house has got to get internet and pay TV or arranged, and things have got to be moved there. And this is you know what? It is just too much effort to be happy. So, in an article from the Journal of Cross-Cultural Psychology, the authors created a fear-happiness scale. They created to compare fear of happiness across 14 cultures. The scale can also help a person or their doctor to evaluate if they have symptoms of Kerophobia. Some statements include, so I didn't go through the whole scale. I'll put the web address, the site in the comments downstairs. But I prefer not to be too joyful. There's some of the statements. I prefer not to be too joyful because usually joy is followed by sadness. So I'm not prepared to take that great fall. So if I'm contently, euphemistically happy, you know, I'm positive today. But when the pawpaw hits the fan, I just have to boom there. But if I'm ecstatically happy and I drop, it's going to hurt. Something I'm afraid of. Disasters often follow good fortune. Excessive joy has some bad consequences. So the causes of Kerophobia. Sometimes Kerophobia can stem from the belief that if something very good happens to a person, or if there's life that is going too well, that a bad event is destined to happen, as a result, they may fear activities related to happiness because they believe they can ward off something bad from happening. This is often the case when someone has experienced a past physical, emotional, traumatic event. Okay, now we're going psychological, but yeah, if something bad has happened when you were doing something good, it psychologically could change the connotation that you make with it. An introvert may be more likely to experience Kerophobia. An introvert is a person who typically prefers to do activities alone or with one or two people at a time. They often see as a reflective and reserved. They may feel intimidated or uncomfortable in group settings, loud places, and places with a lot of people. Now, that's where I disagree. And this is what I was saying. You don't have to be an introvert. You can be a very social extrovert person. But when you are not in a comfortable zone, you are anxious. And sometimes being happy, sometimes being the extrovert is being the life of the party, is just making sure everybody else is happy, and you're running your dear ass off. You're worried if this one is happy, trying to make that one happy, trying to please this one. Hopefully that one didn't take your last statement badly. Is this one sorted out? Would this one be happy? Is this one fed? Has that one had his compliment from you today? Is this one? Are you agreeing with this one? Did your disagreement? You are running around as an extrovert, but you are so busy trying to make people happy that you forget to just enjoy the place, the group, the setting that you are in. Something that I found. Perfectionists are another personality type that may be associated with Kerophobia. Those who are perfectionists may feel happiness is a trait only out of lazy or unproductive people. Now, once again, I said you don't have to be a perfectionist in the everything is square and right. You could be a perfectionist in I need to see an end to be a beginning. Otherwise, I can't start. You can have a perfectionist streak without being a phobic. As a result, they may avoid activities that could bring happiness to them because these activities are seen as unproductive. So let's just go on. What are the treatments for Kerophobia? And I'm not saying I took out a whole lot there. You can look at the page as well. Because Kerophobia hasn't been largely detailed or studied as its separate disorder, there aren't FDA-approved medications or other definitives. It's like, you know what? You're depressed, you're anxious, you're whatever if you don't want to be happy. Or you stupid, you silly, why won't you? You know what? You do need support in these things. And if people around you often look at themselves, sometimes people don't realize that the reason you're not willing to become happy is because they are around you, or the way that you are treated, or the reaction that you get from them because you are happy. So you choose not to have that reaction. So you choose not to be happy. You get excited about something and you get an absolute downer. It's sometimes more hurtful, and you choose not to be happy because of that. But yeah, however, some suggestions: cognitive behavioral therapy, a therapy that helps a person recognize faulty lines of thinking and identify behaviors that can help them change. Very, very important. And I find that's pretty cool. And if you can just put it basically, note when you are happy, you should be happy, and you are not being happy, and allow yourself happiness. I think you need to be aware of things that make you happy, and when you are forcing yourself not to be happy, and allow yourself to be happy. Bugger the rest of the people. Sometimes it is good for your body and for you to be happy. And you know what? If something goes wrong, you'll deal with it. But for now, you're happy. Because whether you're happy now or not, it was going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And guess what? It's going to be better that you're happy and you get to deal with it than when you were expecting something to go wrong that may never go wrong. We expect maybe 20, 30, 40 things to go wrong. One or two does. But we've already become unhappy, or put our happiness on hold, or stopped being happy because we've ended up with assuming that there will be 10, 20, 30 things wrong. Only two go wrong, which we would easily deal with if we stopped worrying that it would go wrong and actually just enjoyed being happy. And being happy when we should be, and enjoying a moment of happiness when you could be, and something does go wrong, you're more likely to solve it because it's not such an anxious stress on you. You're happy, you're going, whoa, stumbling block. Let's get it sorted so we can go on. But when you're like, I don't want to be happy because it might be wrong, something's going to go wrong, this could, that could, that could, that could, that could, that could, this could, that could, that could, that could, this and that and that and that and that. And then one thing does go wrong. You see, it did go wrong. damn, what a freaking catastrophe, disaster. What are we going to do now? I shouldn't have even thought it. You see what I that's the attitude. But when you're just happy and enjoying it, and don't worry about trying to figure out 20 things, because I always try and anticipate at least 30 or 40 things will go wrong. It absolutely tarnishes you being happy. So what you should do is be happy. Just be happy. I know it sounds like, oh, very easy for you to say, Andre. You're not like wondering where your next plate of food is coming from, or you're not wondering if you're going to get fined or not. You're not wondering if you're going to get into trouble or not. You know what? Those are times when you do concern and you work on them. But I mean, when there are times of happy and someone said congratulations, or you've succeeded in something or something to that effect, then be happy. Sometimes you need to be happy even when things are not great. You might be having a massive lockdown, but you're happy to see your friends. Be happy. Enjoy it. Laugh. Allow yourself to laugh. Don't be afraid of laughing because somebody's going to tell you how dirty your mind is all of a sudden, or if somebody's going to tell you that you're going to go to hell, or if somebody's going to tell you that, that you're not that funny, or laugh, enjoy it, live the moment. You're allowed to. And if those people aren't happy with you, so what? Is it going to affect your life? No. Stop thinking that they think bad of me, that they'll resent me, that I'm now in the dog box, that this has gone wrong, that has gone wrong, etc., etc. I'm this, I'm that. I haven't kept up my pose, my position, my whatever, etc., etc. Fuck it. And then another, exposure to happiness. How to do it? Relaxation strategies. Take a deep breath. You know what? I smoke, and I don't think it's the addiction to cigarettes. I think it's having something to do with my hands. And then they always say, take deep breaths. And people take a cigarette, and they go, I feel so relaxed after that cigarette. And then somebody else will go, and they go, oh, I'm so stressed. And they go, I'm starting to relax. All you're doing with a cigarette is taking a damn good breath, and that's why it's actually relaxing you, because you're taking deep breaths. Whichever way helps you to take deep breaths, whether it's at the back of a cigarette or at the back of a brown paper bag or in fresh air, take them. Relax. Such as deep breathing, journaling, write down things, and exercising, something I need to look at. Hypnotherapy, if you want to, although I have yet to find people who can actually do that properly. All I found, any hypnotherapist, a bunch of freaking yahoos. So if you know somebody that's good, let me know. Exposure to happiness-provoking events as a means to help a person identify that happiness doesn't have to have adverse effects. So expose yourself to some good times. You know what? If we have a barbecue or braai this evening, enjoy it. Yes, the next problem. Is everybody happy? Did I say something wrong? I wonder if they were happy enough. Did they felt left out? Did I not talk to them enough? Did I talk to them too much? Did I say something wrong? I hope they all enjoyed it. And in the end, you know what? You're not happy because you are so worried about everything else. Not everyone with an aversion to happiness necessarily needs treatment. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. We aren't all in a depressive, medicated state or needing to be medicated. It is just a self-sabotage that we have got into a rut of. Some people feel happier and more secure when they're avoiding happiness. Why do you feel more secure when you're avoiding happiness? I tell you why you feel more secure, because you're in control. When you're happy, you're out of control, because it's an ecstatic, especially when you're very happy. It's a wonderful feeling. And I don't know when last I experienced that, but it's so important that you do get to experience it, because it's a giggle. It's a little girl's giggle. It's a little child's giggle. It's a laugh. It's an uncontrollable flow of joy through your veins. But you're so stopping it. And sometimes we just need to set up a silly time that we can just laugh and enjoy. And you know, everybody goes and determined to enjoy it. It's what you focus on and what you see is the good and bad again, the yin and yang. Unless Kerophobia is interfering with their own personal quality of life or ability to maintain a job, they might not require treatment at all. So you're not depressing yourself to death. You're not able to keep a job, but you're probably more of the serious Joes or whatever. However, if the symptoms of Kerophobia are related to a past trauma, yes, I agree. If something happened at a time that actually is associated with, then it might be a good idea to get some treatment. And I'd like to finish off with saying, and I will do my wrap up on it, but today I will live in the moment. Unless the moment is unpleasant, in which case I will eat a cookie. I loved that point. Today I will live in the moment. How often do we not want to live in our moment? How often do you deny yourself the moment? You deny yourself the moment of joy, the moment of happiness, because somebody might say something wrong. It might be somebody close to you. It might be just a stranger at the party, whatever. It might be somebody who doesn't even realize that they're creating this kind of anxiety in you and prohibiting you from being happy. It might be somebody who's just a stranger who's far too confident, because you might not be confident enough to be happy. There are so many reasons. I can actually just go through them. You know what? The biggest thing is that fall from being happy to something going wrong, to it can't always go right, so I might as well prepare for it now. To, you know what, is everybody else happy? The put yourself last scenario. As long as everybody else is happy, it doesn't matter what happens to me. You know, it doesn't matter if I pulled the short string. It doesn't matter if I didn't enjoy the evening, the day, the work, the job, the TV program, the movie, the whatever. As long as everybody else enjoyed it, it's okay. I can suffer. The martyr type of thing. The self-sabotage, you know, it's getting too good, it's got to go bad. It's the trying to figure out how many things are going to go bad so that you'd miss the good times. And if we can just today, and guys, be aware. Number one is be aware that you of happy times and enjoy them. Make them memorable. Let them burst out of you. You're allowed to be happy. You're not being arrogant by being happy. If somebody didn't enjoy something, it should not affect your happiness if they didn't say something about it. Because if something bothered them, or if they were unhappy about something, they should have politely enlightened you or asked you to assist so that you could have made them part of your happiness. Share your happiness. It's great to share it. It's wonderful to share it. And you know what? There are a few genuine people out there who are happy for you when you are happy. Make sure you surround yourself with those people. Drop the rest off who aren't going to. You know, just as much as that there are people who share your sadness and will be here for you in the tough times, share people who are happy for you when you are happy too. In the moment, be aware, share, live today. You will handle the problem if there is one. But when you focus on it, there will be one. It's like what I focus on in Cambodia. If I want to, I can look at everything bad. And I wanted to show you a trip in the streets, and I'll show you next week when I have some time, because I don't have time today. But I'll show you a trip through the streets, and some of the places you look and you go, Andre, do you actually live there? And then I'll show you some place, and it's, wow, this is like, you know what, cosmopolitan city. And I could focus on the rubbish in the garden, and I could focus on the roads that aren't repaired, the roads that flood. I could focus on some very, very, how should I say, I don't want to say gifted, very, very fortunate teachers, those who should be grateful and happy, being whingy and whiny and moaning. They are really, it's a test to get past these people at work in the mornings. But I can focus on that. I can focus on everything that's gone wrong, and I can be miserable, and I'll have a reason to be miserable. Or I can focus on the fact that I don't have to be tested for another 7 days, because I just got tested for free today going into Naga World. I got my glasses sorted out in the end. I was able to go and take a look at a house that I want to move to. I have a career. My wife is happy. My little pups are happy. I have friends that'll do anything for me. I have friends that I will do anything for. I have friends that are happy around me. I have friends that I am happy around. Allow yourself to be happy. Laugh. You're so afraid that you'll make an ass of yourself because somebody's going to point it out. Fuck them. You're so afraid that somebody's going to give you a negative comment on your happy moment, on your joy. Sorry, I'm using a little bit of foul language in this one, but I'd say enjoy it. And I love this last picture. Today, I will live in the moment, unless the moment is unpleasant, in which case I'll have a cookie or a beer. It's once again life's choices. We've got to learn to be cognitive about our choices. I'd like to talk about things like this more, so please, if you have anything to say, anything to add, if there's something that you would like, either leave a comment or drop me a mail at peppersecho@gmail.com, PPRSECHO. I haven't done news and things at all yet last week or this week or the week before. We'll look at it across there, but I once again urge you, go and take a look at Ronaldo Gous, Chris Wyatt, Morning Shot. I watch every morning as well. Ronaldo, I listen to every morning from the night before because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Chris, I'm still trying to figure out when his programs are on. Then I sometimes catch a live and then sometimes I've got to do reruns. If you can learn to be happy, start with the small things. Start with the small things. When you see something that brings joy, realize and notice when you are going to be unhappy and go, you know what, I can be happy. If you start going, well, that can go wrong, and you know, well, if that goes wrong, I'll deal with it. But it's not wrong right now. If that man is unhappy with something I said, or that woman is unhappy with something I said, may he or she have the decency and integrity and respect to ask me or bring it to my attention, and I will happily take the opportunity to apologize and rectify. But if they have to put one under the belt or a sharp shot at me, they're not people that I want around me anyway. If they have to give me a lowdown on it, if sarcasm is the name of the game, I don't want that around me. I want support. Surround yourself with people that will laugh with you, and see when you share your happiness, when you share your laugh, how addictive it is. When you share that feeling, when you go to sleep with that feeling, when you wake up with that feeling, and you don't wake up with a feeling and go, wow, but this and this and this and this could go wrong today. Just forget this and this and this. Realize that you are happy now. That cup of coffee on the balcony with that cigarette in the morning is your moment of happiness. And what happens after that, you will deal with. A lot of it is referred to me. A lot of what I've spoken about is referred to me. A lot of the feelings. So I'm no master of happiness. But I know being afraid to be happy. And I know being afraid of what people think, what people say, what people will do. And I know not realizing what you have in gold when you have your friends around. When you miss that moment of happiness, don't let somebody take it out for you. Enjoy that moment of happiness. From my side, may you live in the moment today, unless the moment is unpleasant, in which case, eat a cookie. Thanks for watching. I appreciate. Please share and like and drop me some comments. I would be happy to have you on the show. I'd happy to be on your shows, whichever. It's from my point of view, my perspective. I know there's a lot more medically inclined perspectives, but yeah. be good, take care, be happy. And if you can't be good, if you can't take care, at least be kind. Cheers.